Shalom, beloved. This is Gabriella Powers with Spark 22, Discovering the Light of Hebrew. We are right in the middle of our three-part word series in preparation for Yom Kippur, which is at the end of this month. We already covered the word Kippur, which means atonement. If you remember, or if you didn't see the video, atonement in its base form is the covering hand of Yahuwah, giving us provision, protection, grace, wisdom, mercy, and all of that during the middle of storms and chaos and whatever the world goes through. Now, our second word will be Anah, which is afflict, and we're still coming from the scripture Leviticus 23:27, which says, "Also, the 10th day of this 7th month shall be the day of atonement. It shall be a holy convocation for you, and you shall afflict, Anah, your souls, nefesh, and offer an offering made by fire to Yahuwah." Afflict, or Anah, has 3 letters. The first letter is ayin. Now, it has a numerical value of 70, which represents completion and fullness. It's a silent letter, and it represents the I, so it represents to see but not to speak, which is actually an allusion to humility. Now, it also, if you look at the letter very carefully, it has 2 little prongs at the top. Those represent 2 eyes, which represent man's ability to choose between good and evil. The second letter, Nun, has a numerical value of 50, which actually represents freedom and fullness of life. The ancient Picto version of this letter represents a seed. It also represents the humble one who is bent in submission before Yahuwah. It is the 14th letter of the alphabet, which gives us an allusion to King David, which also gives us another allusion to Yeshua the Messiah. The last letter, He, has a numerical value of 5, which represents all 5 levels of our soul, our nefesh. The Paleo version of this letter actually looks like a window. It also can represent a door. It means look or behold, and also the outbreathing of the Ruach, the Spirit. Now, it's at the end of the word, which actually shows that this word is feminine. So this letter at the end of the word actually shows reproductiveness, fruitfulness, and the ability to multiply. So as we approach Yom Kippur, I really wanted to know what it means to afflict our souls. Looking at the 3 letters, starting with ayin, ayin shows man's ability to either choose between good or evil. Affliction is seeing and recognizing your need for atonement, because our flesh is constantly wrestling with choosing evil, and our spirit and our soul are constantly wrestling with choosing good. Affliction is humility, which brings about completion and fullness. The second letter, Nun, shows that affliction is being bent before Yahuwah in submission, which is a seed that is planted in humility and sprouts freedom and fullness of life, beloved. The last letter, He, shows all 5 levels of our soul, our nefesh, being filled with humility, recognizing our need for Yeshua, which reproduces more humility, which equals freedom, completion, and fullness of life. Affliction is not about causing our flesh to suffer, but our spirits and souls to be brought to complete and utter humility, crying out for forgiveness, grieving our sin, understanding that without Yahuwah we are nothing. Affliction is necessary for atonement. Humility in its fullest is needed for receiving atonement and coming beneath the open palm of Yahuwah. When Yahuwah told the children of Israel, any who did not afflict their souls on the Day of Atonement would be cut off, it was not an angry threat, but a loving warning. Yahuwah resists the proud, beloved. If ever we are so prideful that we do not see our own need for redemption or atonement, or we are above reproach, we come out from the atoning covering of Yahuwah's hand. And if we're not beneath his hand, we are beneath the hand of the one whose domain is this world, the adversary. Affliction is a beautiful gift, beloved, a pain that allows us access to atonement. Affliction equals complete nefesh, or soul, humility. Think on that as we approach Yom Kippur. Shalom Aleichem.